I can't believe I'm doing this for the fourth time already. But I have to say I'm it's crazy. You are one of those people I really wanted to talk to. And yesterday when you said no, I can't come, I was like, fuck. I really hope I'm going to have this conversation with Lasse. I don't know. I don't even know how to start this introduction, but I think I would let you tell me a little bit how old you are, where you are living, what you are doing, and stuff like that. Do you think that's a good idea?
Let's do that.
Let's do that. All right.
I almost forgot my age there, but 26, born and raised here, where you now are living in Aalborg. We met each other through futsal. I don't know if you're tapping into that, but that has been a part of my life as well. Been playing a lot of different sports, mostly football, and then it got into futsal. And at some point, I thought I don't know.
You're gonna hit professional?
Yeah, I thought that in the early stage, and I think a lot of boys' dreams are to become a professional football player. But at some point, when I was 15, that dream kind of drifted away. In some way, and then
did it let me interrupt you a second. Yeah. I will interrupt you a lot because
just do that.
The problem is that every time that I have a conversation with you, you are making your inputs are so interesting that I found it's for real. It's one of the reasons why I wanted you here. It's because every time that you say something, I want to ask you something regarding what you said, right? Yeah. So that if that doesn't bother you, brother,
it doesn't.
Okay, that's gonna happen a lot today.
Just do it.
This dream, did it fade away by itself, or you found another dream that you thought it was better chasing than this one? Or because I do believe that you are very talented at playing futsal, and that if you had put all the effort and put all the energy into it, I've no doubt you would have made a lot of progress. So tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, I don't think it was I had another dream popping up. I just think that I accepted an excuse of my own. At that point, that's something I've reflected upon over the years. But back then, that dream was just lost because I didn't think I was good enough anymore. And you have all these circumstances trying to get to you, and I think they got to me at that point in my life, and it made a big impact in terms of what I learned from it, or what the takeaways from that. But that's just something that's gotten to me recently.
We have already drifted away from the main question, and I like that because right from the beginning we are discussing something that's really interesting to me, which is goal setting and how to go down and follow through with your goals. But one of the questions I also have is, do you regret not having gone through with this shit?
It's tough to regret something and say it out loud to the public, but I don't think I regret it actually. I've probably at some point in my life I regretted not trying it anymore, or trying it with the knowledge I have today. I think some of those learnings could probably have benefited me at that point, because I accepted, as I said before, the apology for not continuing, and
more than likely this learning that you took away from this goal that you said you are applying to your new goals, right? Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that wasn't a loss of time at all.
Definitely not. It learned me a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah,
brother. Where are you living now? What are you doing? How is life?
It's a lot of questions, but I'm living in Copenhagen now. I've been living most of my life here, so it was about time. I guess sometimes you need to change your environment to grow in new ways and different dimensions. But moved to Copenhagen. My life is I'm not studying anymore, which was the main purpose for me. Not main purpose, but which was a purpose for me moving to Copenhagen. But I found other ways when I got there I forgot the rest of your question, so I'm just
No, it was you are answering the question
Okay.
I proposed like very very clearly. What I'm also very interested in is exactly what you are doing daily in Copenhagen. I know that you have some business going on.
yes.
I would like to know how it is going, how much progress you are making. I'm asking too many questions simultaneously, so let's just stick to this. To what you are doing daily, Lasse.
Daily, I'm meeting people. That's a thing that I really enjoy, and I think that is what makes my clock tick. It's meeting people, meeting new people, meeting interesting people, because I think that's really important part of being a human being. And as you said, and we talked a little bit before we got on, you are also doing this to meet people, to get some takeaways from those people, learn from people. I see the same values in people, that you can take away a lot, but you can also, when you become more, you can give more. And in terms of that is something I apply almost daily, as much as I can, when I meet people in Copenhagen or wherever I go. So that's, let's say, a fluffy way to say what I'm working with. But on a daily basis, that's one of my main purposes. It's to get out and to meet people.
I also like because sometimes when you start meeting new people, it's like you don't, at the beginning you don't have a lot of expectations, right? It's like, yeah, I'm just gonna meet this person, but then when you start talking to these people, you realize how much you can learn just by having conversations with other people and applying those. That's what we discussed like a few minutes ago. Like then you can apply all these things, all these goals, all these the way people are approaching life. Then you think, fuck, man, like maybe I got it all wrong, like all along the way. Maybe I can just try a completely different approach and see if that works. So that's one of the things I really like about it. Is like every time that we've talked about training, nutrition, I'm like, maybe I should listen to this man a little bit more, because I've learned a lot from you about handstands. It's not like something simple, but you know, my progress to handstands, I owe you a lot about it also, and I've learned a lot about nutrition, about how not to get injured while training, about how to use some of these like extra exercises to get stronger and stuff. So yeah, I wanted to thank you for that also, like to take this opportunity to thank you. Yeah,
you're welcome, brother. You did yourself the work, and I just gave you some tips maybe in the beginning, and now your calisthenics path is already way more further than mine. So
that's something we will discuss later on in this conversation. And also, brother, let's get deep, and let me ask you, what are your current goals right now?
Current goals.
In like, you can be specific or like generalistic, like in life or in your career, whatever, like your goals.
Fuck, that's a tough one. It's a deep one. My goals. I have different goals for different purposes. Definitely, like not like everybody else, but I guess people have goals in different ways. I like to set goals. I like to also talk about them. But when you get to talk about them, then some of them might be a little bit wavy or like not time stamped, or then they're just like kind of dreams. And I think it's a mixture between those two. And my current goals is to, in 2 years, not live in Copenhagen anymore. Then I want to go to South Europe. I haven't chosen yet whether it's gonna be Spain or it's gonna be Portugal or Italy, but those are my 3 main countries that I want to go to next time. And in the meantime, I'm just trying to build my network in Copenhagen, trying to build it up. So it's really a place where I like to go to meet the people. And it's already like that. But you can always grow, and you can always...
It's so interesting, man. Are you planning on settling down in southern Europe at some point, like for a long period of time, or you just have the idea that you want to live there for some time and then see what happens?
Both, if you could say so. my main reason is just to get a feeling of how it is to live in a different country than Denmark for more than just 2 months. I've also been traveling, so I know how it is.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think I'm gonna stay in. I haven't planned for 10 years of living there, but I would like to have a place where I can go when I don't like the weather we have in the other countries we are in. Like in Denmark, the winter is. It's not everybody's favorite.
Yeah.
Somebody loves it, and I'm probably not one of those guys. So I would like to. I like Denmark in the summer. Like I think Denmark is a beautiful place to be in the summer, and Copenhagen got my interest over the last 2 years. I maybe owe my girlfriend to let her know that that's one of the main purposes I also went there for. But
It's beautiful, man.
It's not a plan to stay for life. It's I would like to live several places, and would like to be able to relocate often if I wanted to. Yeah.
I know that you have this curious mindset where, it's I have like this idea that I don't think you'd be able to like, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, because probably I don't know you enough to say that, but you strike me as a person who would like to, like, you wouldn't settle in a place for more than more than a year or something. So you like experiencing new cultures, because right from the beginning, from the first day I met you, you were very curious even about me. Like, hey man, where do you come from? What are you studying? What are you doing? And not everyone is like you, right? This is already saying that you have a very curious mindset, and you like exploration and adventures. Regarding goals, I still have 2 more questions that I want to ask you. The first one is, and this is something that I would say I'm struggling sometimes to find clarity in my goals, right? Because sometimes I say, yeah, this is really my goal, but then along the way, when I'm chasing that particular path, I find something else that I find interesting, and then I deviate course. I don't know if that's, at the beginning I was punishing myself, and I was saying it's probably not a good thing, right? Because when you choose a path, you have to follow it up to the end. I don't know to what extent this is a good or a bad thing, but my question to you, Lasse, is how do you find clarity when you are seeking your goals?
How to find clarity? Well, you said you didn't really always, or that you're not always able to find it. I don't think I am either. I'm not perfect, and nobody are, and especially not when it comes to goal setting. Like I set a goal this year of reading 75 books. That's not from a study place or anything, that I choose myself. And I have to be reading some of those books really fast if I need to hit that goal by the end of this year, which probably is not gonna happen. But I'm above 30 books, so I don't know how to answer the clarity thing, but I could also hit myself in the head and say you didn't read 75 books. But I could also say I probably read 30 books more than most other people did in this year. But like, yeah, I don't know how to really answer the clarity question.
You did answer it. You did answer it, because in some way what you are laying out here is you are saying you can set like a goal for yourself that's pretty ambitious, right?
I think it should be, actually, and and it has to be a little bit dangerous. Otherwise you can just be laying in the bed for 7 days and then or let's say I want to read 2 books a year. Okay, then you can
do
skip
way better.
Basically 50 weeks and then read the last 6 weeks. And so I think there's a sense behind having a really ambitious goal, but I also think it's important to sometimes maybe have the reality check. I put the goal down to 50 books when I reached half in the year, right?
Yeah. You can even like, something that's worked for me sometimes is like when I have a very ambitious goal. Maybe ambitious for me, it is not for other people. Other people find it easy, but when I want something and I really want to get there, but I find it's way too challenging for me, I try to break it down and say, okay, on the first month I'll get there. The second month I'll try to get there. everything's easier when I do that stuff, because then I find my goals realistic and way easier to stick to them and not quit.
Exactly. I didn't really say it, but like that's also the science behind my goal setting with the books, for instance. I'm not reading a book a day.
No.
Or some days just reading a book. I'm reading 10 pages a day minimum.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just like you splitting it up and making it eatable.
Right.
So like there's a saying about this elephant, if how to eat an elephant, right? One piece by or one piece at a time.
I like that,
so,
brother.
So I think it's the same with these goal settings, and maybe it's our culture, the way we are living today versus, let's just say, before the smartphone came. Because with the smartphone, there's a lot of thing happening. We get this instant gratification thing, and I think the instant gratification has touched so many lives, especially young people, especially with the technology, and it makes it really difficult to make a transition in your head of, okay, I need to work and make time work for me for this to happen.
Right.
And I think that's one of the bigger issues when it comes to reaching your goals or goal setting, because you want it ASAP.
Instant gratification.
And you know, like you have done working out for the front lever for such a long time.
Yeah, it's already over a year.
Exactly.
Right now.
And it's still not there
No.
perfectly yet.
No, it's definitely not.
It's getting somewhere. And people who didn't know Gilliam before, I think before we talked together, you were doing mostly yoga and
right? I think I got like way deeper into calisthenics after meeting you. I do believe that. Like you had a very powerful impact on the way I approached my workout routines.
But you took off afterwards, so I had nothing to do with that.
I'm not so sure about it, brother. Let's say, and there is so many things, brother.
But just do a session again later this year.
We will.
Next year.
No, I really want to have you one more time. But leaving that aside, one of the things I like about you also is that you read a lot. And at some point, like I texted you, hey, Lasse, have you read this book? Oh yeah, I read it a couple years ago. And that's this, because you can easily distinguish between people who read a lot and people who don't by the calmness and the way they speak and the way they listen to you and they approach life. I feel like I have the capacity to see people who are readers and who read a lot of books, and you are one of them. That's one of the reasons why I have so many questions, and I really value your opinion. Another question that I have for you, Lasse, is what are the certainties in your life? I'm asking you this question because sometimes we young people, it's very hard to say, yeah, this is something that I really want for the rest of my life. But sometimes I do have some certainties in my life, some values, some things that I want to stick to, and I would like to know if you have some.
Well, it's gonna follow the thread you started with the books. I think I'm certain that I always want to be able to, or not able, but want to learn every day. Because I think when you stop doing that, you start becoming older, you start dying at some point. So I think that's an easy thing of being certain of, because like it's easy to say you need to become smarter or learn every day, but that's partly why I read the books. Then you also need to apply what's happening in the books, or what you get out of it, or what you take from there. But other certainties, well, I'm gonna stick to always trying to optimize my routines. I think we're like that's what we're about. Just
to be more specific, you're not making reference only to workout routines, like daily routine, right? Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. It's daily routines, because workout is just a part of that.
Okay. Yeah.
And probably you have caught me in a moment of my life where my workout routine is not the most important routine. So and I think that's okay, you know, like at some points I have like really hardcore workout routines, and that's where I'm going right now. Not right now, but like it could be. And all this traveling I've been traveling a lot back and forth from Aalborg to Copenhagen to a little bit to Sweden and then some places. And that has been having a tough hit on my routines in general, because it's not easy to always get your daily routines worked out when you're kind of traveling most of the days.
It's very complicated to stick to not to stick, but even to have the energy to train. Regardless of that, like it's funny because ever since I met you, I thought this dude is like you are a very tall dude.
Yeah.
But at the same time, your capacity to perform bodyweight exercises is quite incredible. Regardless of that, it's not the common rule that someone as tall as you are also very strong, will be capable of achieving, like, I don't know, your handstand was awesome. You were almost transitioning from handstand to a full planche. I saw you one time. That was pretty insane.
He's lying, guys.
No. I saw you, brother. But I know that you already said you are not training that much right now, but I would still like to know how you are approaching fitness.
Yeah.
And let's start with fitness. Your workout routines. What does it look like? What are you doing right now?
Yeah,
because I'm sure you are doing something.
Yes, I am. And can I answer the thing about my height first?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Because it was a problem. It was like after now we can just talk about, but after the football thing stopped, or my dream of the professional football player, I hit the gym almost immediately after and started working out like 6 times a week, and I probably didn't really know what I was doing.
All right, let me add a follow-up question. Let's say during your futsal, like when you had this futsal dream, were you already training, doing bodyweight exercises, or it was like right after?
No, I stopped the football dreams around 15 years.
Okay.
That's where I stopped in the club. That was an elite club. And right after that, I needed to find something else, because like that was my entire life, right? You basically are living for the weekends where you have the matches, and then you're training basically every day, even though you're going to school and blah, blah, blah. I had a lot of years being a gym rat. And it had some problems on my body. I lifted like the guys I saw in the fitness, and that's not the smartest thing to do. You need to do your own research and find some tutorials online and start doing the exercises. Then you can always find your own ways of doing them.
Right.
So I had a big shoulder injury, but I got really big. I got stronger and I got bigger, and then at some point, I think my happiness for sun and being out when Denmark is having great weather kickstarted my calisthenics journey. Like, I fucking hated going to the gym in the summer days. And then I thought, okay, well, I need to start working out outside or outdoor. Then I can get tanned and I can do my workouts.
Breathe some fresh air.
Exactly.
Also. Yeah.
And that's probably the best thing about it. It's the fresh air and the nature part about it, but at that point it was basically to get tanned while I was working out. I think that was what up. Yeah. That had a lot of impact on my start in my calisthenics, because like just doing pull-ups was really fucking heavy for me. Like my legs were heavy, everything was heavy.
I bet. I mean,
so it actually probably I sized down. I don't know how, downsized a little bit, and it got better over the years. And it's a tough transition. I would, and since I've talked to a lot of people, I've been working out in gyms and I've been working out just basic calisthenics. But I would advocate for the opposite way of starting when you need to. Let's say you talk to a person who never worked out before. I would definitely recommend at least 1 or 2 years of bodyweight exercises, just to get the movements, get the mind to muscle connection, the understanding of that entire thing. Like, I still see people, really big, beautiful bodies in the gym, not being able to do a simple push-up. Like, it's horrible.
It's like you have to master your body before you can add some weights to it and train.
That's at least my now.
Yeah, I like. It's not like I'm an expert in it, but I feel the same way. I feel like I would like to master my body before trying other weighted exercises. But yeah, I think that was a very beautiful explanation of like the different transitions in your life regarding training.
But I forgot to answer the question about what I'm doing now.
But because I interrupted you, so feel free to keep going, brother.
Okay. Well, I have. I think over the years I started to become more philosophy driven. It sounds like blah blah blah, blah, but it's like, which means I also applied that to my workout. So instead of, I've been really good at bashing myself in my head, especially when I'm not doing what I was, at least in my head, supposed to do. I have this philosophy when my life is a little bit rolling on the high, whatever, and it's going a little bit fast, and you're traveling and you're blah blah blah. I have at least 20 minutes where I need to get active, doing something, and that in terms of calisthenics, push-ups, squats,
the basics,
the basics, right? And that's also a thing that I've initiated whenever I've had those days where you just think, "Fuck, not today, not today."
Sometimes you have this feeling that, okay, I have now right now it's happening to me. Like I've been training for 2 months, like quite with a pretty high intensity to achieve my front lever. It's still gonna take me some time, but I really don't mind. I know I'll get there at some point.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling I need to deload a bit. I need to slow down for like 2 weeks because I feel even when I wake up, my back is tired.
Okay.
I'm living some days, some rest days in between, but I'm still feeling like I need a week to recover. So after this Christmas, like this week is probably gonna be the last one I'm training. Then I'll deload for like a week, 2 weeks. I'll go to the spa. Yeah, brother. I'll just like take a walk in nature, maybe go for a run, do a lot of stretching and yoga.
Nice.
And stuff like that.
Completely Gabo Saturno.
Yeah, I'll go Gabo Saturno, man.
That's a Gabo Saturno. And shout out to him. He's like...
love him, man.
Yeah. Like he's been a big influence in my... First of all, put a really smart thing on your Instagram, especially people that are putting out great value to the market. And he's one of those guys, especially in the calisthenics world and in the probably also spiritual world at some point, yoga
Absolutely.
world. Him and Fitness FAQ have been some, I think I also recommended you to follow
Yeah,
at some point.
Yeah. I think I follow them a little bit. And Chris Heria, shout out to him also. Now I have like an overview of what you have been through. I already knew like more or less what your calisthenics past looked like. Now I know how you are, what you are, in which way you are approaching your workouts now, and would like to know about nutrition. If you are paying a lot of attention to it, you are trying to eat I don't know, more vegetables. Maybe you eat a lot of meat. What do you do if you, or maybe you just like going with the flow and seeing what happens?
Well, I'm afraid of kickstarting some debate here about meat and not meat and vegan and not vegan.
No, just like
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
go ahead.
I'm not gonna start a discussion either, but like we've talked nutrition sometimes.
Yeah. But again, listen, I want you to know that I'm not asking you this question because I want to argue with you. I
know.
I really want to learn from you because look, brother, I was having a friend of mine on my podcast. I think it was last week, and he told me, look, man, maybe in your diet you could also include this, that, and the other. And I actually tried it, and it worked. You know, so nice. I just want to see what you do. You're a smart guy, and everything that you say, I will take into consideration. That's my point.
Yeah. I first of all, I'm not a workout specialist and I'm not a nutrition specialist. So everything I'm gonna say, do your own research beforehand.
Of course.
I've been like we talked about in the past, tested out some different things. I've not really had a lot of problems with my food regimen or like in general. I've basically most of my life just been eating whatever I got served, which was a lot of pasta and a lot of classic, traditional, easy to make to 4 kids.
Yeah.
Meals.
Oh, right.
We were four brothers
yo.
playing football, all of us. So spaghetti with the spaghetti bolognese, four
Four
times a
strong
week
boys.
or something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm also a convenience kind of guy, and I think convenience have like tapped into a lot of the ways we live our lives today. Unfortunately, also food. Like, let's just take takeaway. Like, I worked at not a takeaway place, but at a place where you on the paper make healthy foods for people, but when you've done that the whole entire day, then you order food yourself because you don't want to make it at home. And at some point in that period, I got to see that my body wasn't as great as it looked in the mirror. I had a great physique at that point in my life, but I didn't really. My cells were. I got a cellular test, and if you talk to smart people today, you should really know how healthy your cells are, and they were really not healthy. And then I needed to start changing.
Did you feel like weak yourself though? Did you feel like you were lacking strength in some way? Not even that. Okay.
I didn't even feel anything, but like with good stuff like our habits and our goal settings, and that can also be bad stuff. But like in general, with good stuff, it takes time for things to happen and for things to become great. Yeah. That's exactly the same thing as if you put a lot of bad stuff into your body. It takes time for it to show on the body.
Yeah.
And that can be 40 years, that can be 20 years, that can be 5 years. And at that point, I just think I didn't want to test that out. I didn't want to test out how many years can I live like this, you know? So I immediately started changing that, or maybe not immediately. Like, habits are not that easy.
More specifically, what changes did you implement in your life?
First of all, the obvious thing was to cut down on the easy takeaway stuff, and then at that point, I can't really remember. My memories about that time of my life is not the best, but like I remember doing a lot of supplements, protein powder, protein chocolate bars, and I was a little Instagram whore back then, so I got some sponsor deals and stuff like this. And after that test, I got to educate myself a lot more in terms of what I could do to enhance my nutrition, but not being in. I really don't like being in the kitchen that much, and that's tough when you need to do the work in that area. So I've been studying supplements basically ever since, and that's some of the things I did. I got to understand supplements, how they work, and what doesn't work. And I think that's one of the things that really changed it. But also in general, my understanding of food has changed a lot since our world is different than it was just like 50, 60, 100 years ago. We have different soil. We have different ways of making our food. Most of our food is processed. Like, there's a lot of things going on, and I don't think I'm gonna be bashing most of the foods out there. But like, I think like we at some point talked about, it's important to find out what fits your body, what fits.
Right.
Yeah.
So instead of sort of like trying to adapt your life to your diet, make sure that like it's something like make sure that your diet fits your lifestyle and not the other way around, so that you can, because sometimes we are trying to fix something by really sticking to it and making it work like forcefully, but then we realize that this is making us unhappy because we are trying to adapt to something that we cannot really adapt. It doesn't match with our lifestyle. But I think you're totally right about what you say. Now most of the foods are like nutritionally deficient, and we might have to find some additional ways to add these nutrients to our bloodstream somehow.
At least most of the places, like there are some places in the world where people are really living healthy. Like I think they're called blue zones. People can look it up. It's fascinating that we only have these few parts of the world where people are actually maybe becoming over 100 years old, actually still being healthy. Like our bodies are meant to be really healthy for a long time. And what we see today is that people get medicated already before they're 30.
Right.
And that kind of world I really don't like. But I don't think that's the podcast to really discuss so much about that world. So I really agree with what you're saying. You need to find something that fits, and then find maybe some smart ways if the kind of food that would benefit you is not really accessible or easy accessible. Because like if I should live by the philosophy of food I have, that would be a lot of money in my life right now, because like just buying a really good quality meat, and I don't know if you're into meat anymore or you're still vegan or
it's not like I've been like fully vegan ever, but yeah, I'm following like a plant-based diet, but I'm having meat and eggs every week, like maybe once or twice and stuff.
Well, I like meat a lot, and I like eggs as well, and I also like plants. And my girlfriend is a nutrition student, so we have had a lot of funny talks at home. When we met, she was a pescatarian, which is a really fine diet in my opinion. Like if you should choose to, let's say you don't eat any food and you want to have some food or meat, if you're not eating meat, then I would definitely recommending fish, like I would also love to eat more fish than I do, but maybe not here where I live right now is the best place to find those. Like the best fish we have in Denmark, they get shipped out of the country, and the others we raised ourselves. So.
And also most of it is coming out from Norway, I think, and the north.
From Norway, where they feed them human food.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Then they get human problems, and then we get double up.
Right. Yeah, so very complicated to find affordable wild fish.
And if you do so, you can just send Guillem the link, and then he can fast forward it to me.
Yes, brother. So interesting, man. Like, but yeah, let me jump right into another question. Unless you have something else to add regarding training, nutrition, or.
I had obviously we talked about this talk a little bit before just today, and I was actually thinking about something, and it's the motivation in addition to training, because first of all I think motivation is a little bit misunderstood. It's not something you get, it's something you earn. You know what I mean?
Let's break it down. Yeah, I do.
It's because people normally say when they don't want to work out, I'm not motivated, I don't feel motivated, or they just have the feeling of not feeling motivated. And for 1 year maybe I haven't felt really motivated at all doing any of my workouts.
No.
And I think that's just sometimes that's how it is, Ever since I started my workout or my fitness path, I've had several times where I've hit some kind of plateau. And I think a lot of people do that, and sometimes you fall out of your total workout regime. And like in those areas of my life, those times of my life, I've tried to find a different way to get motivated, even though I don't really buy the feeling. For instance, at some point I was like, about calisthenics, and then was get back to the gym.
Yeah.
And then I went back to the gym for a couple of months until I got tired of that and was thinking, okay, that was fast. I got tired of that. Now we really need to make something of a change. And I started working out at kids' playgrounds in the city center here in Aalborg, which was really creative for me because I could. In calisthenics, you use your body as the machine, right? And that kind of feeling got to me. So. Then it was like just a tree. That was my pull-up bar, and all these things just enhanced my thinking of the workout. It was probably not a good workout, or in terms of becoming a little bit better, it probably didn't really count as much,
But sometimes it really works. Like it keeps you on track because you are, as you said, you are training calisthenics for a long period of time, and you're like, is that all there is to it? Like, you know what,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna jump off and do some, go to the gym for like a couple months. That's still a way of getting your. I don't like motivation either, because motivation. It's a strange thing, brother. I think that like what really determines whether you're gonna succeed in your fitness goals that you have in your mind is what you are doing on the days you are not motivated, right?
Yeah.
Because it's very easy to go work out when everything goes smooth, when you have energy, when your girlfriend says she loves you, when when everything's going smooth at work, you're having money, it's easy. But what about when money's not so good, when your friends are not listening to you, you're having problems at work? Those are the days you have to show up, right? And then you will have motivation, because then you will be able to train on the hard days. So that's like a message I would also like to put out, like, and it's especially at the beginning of the workout is like, it happened to me yesterday. I was like, I don't want to train today, man. I just want to read a book and lay down in bed. But I knew it's a goal I've set for myself. So I'm just going to go with it, because otherwise, if you start breaking those goals, if you start not following them, then it translates into every area in your life.
And
but
the feeling you get afterwards is beautiful.
It really is.
Because if you really had a strong feeling of not doing it yesterday, it was really good when you were done.
Exactly. And it goes, has it happened to you? Like you can start the training with a very low mood, feeling very blue. But as you keep training, like, I don't know, 30 minutes in, you start feeling better and better and better. And when you finish, you're like, I'm so glad I showed up, right?
Yeah, that's my idea of the 5 minutes. Like sometimes I have something I call them in Danish, but really, really short ones. And it's just to get out, because the motivation or the time or something has happened that makes it really tough to get out there today.
So interesting, brother.
Yeah, and those 5 minutes end up, like you said, sometimes it's just a fucking shit training.
Yeah.
Sorry for my French.
Still a training though.
Yeah, still a training, and it was a training done, but half the time it happens like just as you said. Whoa, my body feels great today. Let's do it. After 5-10 minutes, and then you had 40 minutes of workout.
Exactly.
So
I'm actually so glad you brought that up. I didn't have it in mind, like, to discuss it with you. But I also think that sometimes we are giving too much credit to our minds, right? Too much. Like, there's a lot of negative thinking. I have a lot. But at some point, I'm like, I'm done, like, listening to these thoughts, man. I mean, maybe they are not the truth. Yeah. Maybe I am meant to work out today. Maybe eventually I will achieve those goals. Maybe I'm not as bad as my thoughts are telling me I am. So I think it's also a good idea to just question your own thinking, because they are deeply related to how you grew up.
So you do have the dialogue.
Oh, bro, yeah, a lot. Like, it's constant dialogue. Do you have it too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And the dialogue, it becomes tougher and tougher sometimes, especially if you postpone the dialogue.
Which happens quite often.
Can happen, yeah.
You know what? I'm going to think about it, like, maybe next week. Are you able to step away from your thoughts and look at them and criticize them, if they challenge them, if they are not positive, or
if I'm good at it?
Or do you have negative thinking at all, Lasse?
Yeah, for sure. I think I don't know if it's important to have negative thinking, but like I definitely have, and I can just be honest, like just coming here in a state where I don't feel like I'm the most worked out version of myself is something where the dialogue starts, are you okay to talk here? Can you add some value to people? And you know what I mean?
I like 100%.
And that happens, and I think it happens daily to most people, like that you have some. It depends on where you are in your life and where you want to go with your life. I think the more ambitious you are, the harder you can also be on yourself. And I'm not gonna lie, I have some crazy ambitions in certain areas, and that can make negative talk explode sometimes.
How do you cope with that?
Yeah, how do I cope with that?
For example, now
sometimes I just lay on the kitchen floor completely naked and suck on my thumbs. Like it's some days needs to be like that. I really like to go to the shower was my first thinking. Actually, I like to shower it out.
Cold shower though.
Cold showers. I like cold showers. I
I
like
like them- I
sauna.
like
I
them
like
too.
spas. I like the entire Wim Hof thinking of.
Same.
I'm not perfect Wim Hof yet. I'm not even close.
no.
But I would like to. Actually, that's an area I would like to challenge further.
Mhm.
But yeah, I really like to have the conversation in shower. I don't know what happens, but something happens in there, and it sounds like a cliche, but
It's just like a time for yourself. I also started doing. I'm not doing. I'm actually doing them daily. I wouldn't say I'm starting with a warm shower, but then when I'm almost done, I turn it completely cold.
yeah,
And I do it like twice a day.
okay,
It's not like automatic that I'm starting to feel. I'm having more positive thoughts
okay.
after a cold shower. I don't. Probably I should have studied the science behind it before bringing this shit up.
There's some good science behind it,
right?
Yeah,
But all those things, as you said, it's a good idea to like do your own research, try them out in your life, see if it works. If it doesn't, just get rid of it.
yeah.
Oh, so man, I just loved it, bro. But this negative thinking that you were having, oh, am I like worthy of this conversation and stuff? And now you realize that it's not only that you are worthy, but that you can add so much value to people.
Well, we don't know yet. We don't know if this is gonna add any.
Yeah,
value to
that's
you,
true.
you
That's
know?
probably a bit of a
But at
stretch.
least we had fun.
Yeah,
and that's
yeah, okay,
important
yeah.
for me, you
Let's
know?
leave it at that. So maybe I'm being generalistic because you are adding value to me, and I'm translating it to other people's. But yeah, I think you're right about it. What are the things which add meaning to your life?
I love that question. What does add meaning to my life? What we do right here is a pretty good picture of it. Yeah. And it's not because you have a podcast setting, but like I recently wrote it down. Shame it's in Danish, so I need to think about it, not read it out loud. But I think it goes hand in hand with some of the first things I said. I really think there's a lot of beautiful things in life, like I've seen a lot of them. But there's, in my opinion, not anything as beautiful as connecting with a human being you didn't thought you were supposed to connect with, or that you didn't know that you needed in your life. And I'm not saying you need that or this particular person in your life. I'm just saying one person can open up your entire life in so many different ways, and many different people or persons have done that to me. And what I found out is just whenever I do that, yes, I create value for another person sometimes. Maybe sometimes I don't, but like most of the times I actually got a lot out of it myself. And that is probably, yeah.
Connection.
The connection.
With people overall is what, because
and I'm talking about this connection because
Yeah.
I've also had the online connection, and it's also when the connection is there, like the internet connection.
Yeah.
Sometimes the connection can become weird, you know. But I really like to meet people physically because there's something different happening. I think our guts are talking to each other in some way, in some language we still haven't researched yet. But some Japanese studies have shown a little bit about the microbiome and the gut and what it sends out, and why gut feeling is maybe something we can study in the future. I didn't say that in the microphone, but like
I think it went through. Anyway, that's so beautiful, brother. Can you like at some point send me these Japanese papers? I would very much like to read
do
them.
my best to find them.
Yes,
after
brother.
this.
But it's so beautiful, like the way you put it. Like my own opinion is that it's complicated to find meaning in your life without having like-minded people around you, and having people who is interested in what you're doing, who are trying to support, who are curious about who you are. And there is no better way than doing it physically, right?
Can I add something to that?
Of course.
Because like I think that's the second part of that whole thing with people and the human connection and the touch. It's also that just what you said, you get influenced by the people you are surrounded by. And I have felt that. I have read about it, and then I've seen it happen in my life, and that has definitely been affecting the way I think about this.
Mhm.
So let's say you meet a lot of people, and you don't really know who is the nice person, or I didn't know who the Gilliam was, I didn't know that we were gonna have a good connection. I just hoped, took a chance, and
You
then
give chances. Yeah.
Exactly. And what happens is that over the course of some time, let's say I have a portfolio of so many people I've said hello to, I've met, then I get to choose who I spend my time with, and then I get to indirectly choose who gets to influence me, because just like you said, you get influenced by the people you surround yourself with. And some of the smartest people are saying that those 5 or 10 people that you surround yourself with or use most of your time with, it decides your future, your economy, your whatever. So why not try to find the best 5 or the best 10 people?
No kidding. And at the end of the day, it's also complicated, because you have to make these choices that you are saying you have to make between all this portfolio of people that you have. It's not an easy choice at the end of the day, because you might have a lot of people you might be interested in, but at the end of the day, you have to narrow things down and be specific and take risks. What are you afraid of, though?
Oh shit, failing, I think, sometimes. But sometimes that came right from the heart at some point, my answer to that.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, like, when I think about it, I really I've since I moved, I've been back sometimes, but the room I left here, I have written basically over every single wall that is in the room, and one of them is fail forward. So it's not like I'm afraid of failing in that sense, but in my opinion, the failing would be stopping, and that would be stopping my workout journey, or stopping my business journey, or stopping my romantic journey. Let's say that's, in my opinion, the fail part.
Right.
It's not that you try, because like a winner is just a loser who tried one more time, right?
Exactly. Bro, can I add something real quick here?
Yes.
I'm reading this book. I'm sure you've read it. It's called The Way of the Superior Man.
I fucking love that book.
It's an amazing book. And there was this sentence that said, what did it go like, brother? In life, there is only 2 different sets of circumstances. One is tests. So life is either a test or a celebration, right? So we are using the term failure, but I don't know how accurate this term is, because most of the times when you are trying things out in the world, they don't work. It doesn't matter what it is at the beginning. When you're trying to get good at anything, it doesn't work at the beginning. They are all tests. And of course, it's failure. But as you said, it's this very one last time that you said, I'm going to try for the very last time. And then you succeed, and then you have the celebration. So I really like this approach, because it's like looking at life in a very, not even a positive way, just like in a matter of fact, like you're trying things out. And of course, like the failure is there. There is no way around it when you're trying to learn something, but the reward is way larger than the, this
disappointment of failure.
Exactly.
What it is. Like, you can really not have success without failure.
No.
It's like kind of, for instance, I'm also in the world of sales. And like, there's a saying in that world that if you want a yes, you need to be able to get them no's. It's just like failure and success. You need to be able to, or you need to be willing to be a noob.
The only issue with that, because I think sometimes it's like it's very beautiful, saying that it's a test, everything's a test or a celebration. But at the end of the day, when you're deep down, when you're inside, and you are getting disappointment after disappointment after disappointment, how do you find sometimes, like, that's a question for you, of course, like, how do you find the courage, or how do you, like, because there is no certainty that you're gonna succeed, right? Or is there? Right?
You're putting some questions out.
But you know what I'm asking, right? Like, is it like, can you see the light at the end of is there a light at the end of the tunnel? at all?
I think you need to at least hope there is some light at the end of the tunnel. It would be really dark if there wasn't. It's a really good question. Like, so the question is there at some point that I need to stop with something?
When you're getting disappointment after disappointment after disappointment, and assuming that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, how do you find the courage to pursue this light?
Yeah.
Already assuming that the light is there.
I think people, that's again where people come into play. Most of the things that I've been good at has been in a team setting. It's either been football, futsal. Let's just say both of you and me have been in the University of Aalborg University, which is a group installation where you have to be a team player of some sort. I think you really need to think about what people you let into your life, as our entire talk basically have been about. But again, here, those are the people who pull you up when you are not necessarily having your own force to do that. Because sometimes we are like getting so beaten up that we need to be picked up by somebody. And I think I've been lucky enough to have people around me whenever I needed to be picked up. Sometimes it's just a word, it's just a clap on the shoulder, or it's something, just this little thing, maybe a sentence that moves your entire world in a different direction, right? It's like,
I really like that, brother, because sometimes even myself, I feel like I can figure everything out on my own. And I don't think that's the case. We are very social creatures, and at the end of the day, we need like-minded people around us who give us this tap on the back and push us forward. That's a very, very beautiful way to put it, brother.
Can I add to that?
Yeah.
The thing that I probably forgot was that always aim to have better people than yourself be your peers. Like, for instance, today we played something called paddle tennis, and I really don't like playing when I know I'm gonna win. So I like to set up games where I know I will have a hard time here, right? Because they're better than me, they make better serves, but when you're the dumbest in the room, you're doing something smart. Like, for instance, with the paddle here.
Right.
And I also think it's important for...
Yeah. Not being afraid of being humiliated. I think that's also a really good point.
You wrote something nice down here, but I don't know what it is.
I wrote.
Is it a quote or a question?
No. I wrote so many things, brother. But I have three more things I want to discuss with you. One is, can you tell me a few things you don't like about your life, or you would like to change from your life?
Yeah, most of the. This is a little bit embarrassing because I don't think I've said it that much to people. But like most of my life, I've probably been. After the football dream went away, I've probably been telling myself that I worked out because I like sweets stuff and candy, and this is one of the things that I would like still to work more on. Like I don't feel drugged, but like I kind of have that feeling with sugar. Sugar has been tough for me.
Is there anything else regarding your behavior? I mean, sugar is a tough one because it can have like a powerful impact on your energy levels.
Yeah.
I don't think it's something trivial.
The second thing we have touched sometimes, it's hitting yourself in the head. Being the inner voice is still something I need to work a lot on. And a really important person to me in my life, he at some point told me that it's okay to ask for help. And that's a thing that from that day on, I have tried to implement that a little bit more. It's not a loss of my person or my abilities if I ask for help, and I fucking didn't understand that in the beginning, and that's something I still want to be better at, because like you just said, you want to feel like you can do it all yourself, but like let's just have this conversation with only one of us.
That's a really good point. I'm also really bad at asking for help. Too proud sometimes, and that really sucks.
Too proud.
I don't like that of myself, man.
No.
But it has a.
But normally I like to talk about the positive things as well.
Yeah. I know.
And there's a lot of positive things we can, like just this vibe here.
that's probably one of the reasons why we connected. It's just you always have a very positive attitude. You always have nice words, interesting inputs. Brother, last question.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you believe in destiny? Do you and purpose? Do you feel like we are here for a reason, that we have to develop our set of skills in one particular direction to make a positive impact in the world?
I like that you translated destiny for me, because it really, I read this question, you sent it to me beforehand. I can tell them that.
Yeah.
This question got to me because I still don't know how to answer it. If I believe in destiny, if I believe that I'm supposed to be somewhere at some point in my life where I'm destined to be, right?
Yeah, exactly. Or even that you have a particular set of skills
that the world needs to.
Yeah.
No, but I think that's why we are set here, is to find out what skills and what value we can bring to people, and then do our best to do that. And I would like to have a legacy. I don't think I believe in destiny. I believe in that you are a deliberate creator of your own life.
So it could take like any possible direction as long as you work for it and you are passionate about it, right? That's more
my
your
belief, yeah.
Bro, I think that's a a very awesome way of wrapping this conversation up, brother.
Let's do that.
Man, I don't know.
It's a pleasure.
I don't know what to say, bro. I'm just.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no. Thank you for coming. Would you like to do this at another point in the future?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Hey, thank you so much, Lasse, brother. Appreciate you a lot, man.
It's a pleasure.
That was awesome.